Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios. Please welcome him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning. I am very excited to be back on this stage. 2 years ago, we came here and we debuted the very first clip from The Avengers. Has anyone seen the rest of the film, The Avengers? Oh, good, good. We had a movie called Iron Man 3 that came out. Did anyone see Iron Man 3 this summer? That was the first in our phase 2. The next one comes out in a mere 3 months, Thor: The Dark World. Tom Hiddleston.
I didn't bring the costume, but I did bring some friends of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very, very warm welcome to Natalie Portman.
Happy to be here with you all today. So nice to meet you all from afar. I hope you're having fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's also my great pleasure to introduce someone otherwise known as Odin the All-Father, Anthony Hopkins. Well, you know, when I first signed up to play Loki, Marvel and Disney weren't working together, and then the first time I came down here was for the Avengers. And what I love is that now that you know, these kind of Marvel characters are iconic for their own reasons, but also Disney, you know, there's such enthusiasm and passion for storytelling in a very particular way. So here we are in Disneyland, and it's amazing to be here. And the crowd out there were wonderful. They gave us such a warm reception, and it was really cool. Well, it's a new twist. It's a new iteration. It's a new roll of the dice. It's a new game of poker, you know, for him, because he the god of mischief. That's his moniker. That's his epithet. He lives for wickedness, and he basically, you find him at the beginning of the film buried deep in the darkest recesses of Asgard, and there is a enormous kind of just a very great threat on the state of peace in Asgard and the universe, which comes in the form of Malekith and the Dark Elves, played by Christopher Eccleston, and the only person who can help, for better or for worse, is Loki. It's kind of like the A-Team. What's that thing he says? If you have a problem, and if no one else can help, and if you can find him, maybe you can hire Loki. Something like that.
Well, I'm really excited to be here. It's really fun being in a room and showing the first footage to a crowd of such positive, enthusiastic people, real true movie lovers. Jane is now working in London in a lab. She's really focusing on her work. She's obviously been heartbroken about Thor, especially since he never called when he came to Earth when he helped the Avengers save Earth. So at the beginning, she's, you know, just really putting all of her energy into work when Thor shows up again. And during the course of events, she gets really swept up into this battle and ends up on Asgard, which is a completely new environment for her, of course. Well, it's just so fun to get to be part of something that people are so passionate about and love so much, and that, you know, they really go to escape. It's really the like pure reason people go to movies, is to go see a world that they could never imagine in front, brought to life in front of their eyes.
Thor. I've done first with Ken Branagh and Alan Taylor, and it's this morning at the convention centre. I was kind of taken aback by the furor of the audience and the enthusiasm. I suppose you would call them the nerds and the experts, or whatever the polite word is. But I'm not an aficionado myself. But it's fun to be here with Tom Hiddleston and Natalie Portman. I think it was much more three-dimensional part, this second one. That's what I felt. And Alan Taylor was very, very good director, and working with Chris Hemsworth. And for the first time I worked with Natalie Portman.
This is my first taste of this. I got a little bit of it. I went to Comic-Con for the first time last few weeks ago, and now this, I had no idea what to expect. I thought we were having a meeting with some Disney people, and I walked in, there's like 4,000 screaming people, and hearing the reaction, just the Marvel logo comes up, and there's already a thing in the room. And then to me, it's huge to be sweating away on this for like a year and a half, and then you come out for the first time, you see it, not just in front of some people, but 4,000 people who are ready for it. To hear them react to what we shot was, that's why you keep doing it, I guess. Well, it's never perfect. Then you can ask Kevin. He's hard on himself. He's hard on everybody in a great way. It's like I heard John Lasseter once say that every movie that ever made, it was at one time the worst movie in the world. And it's I think Marvel has the same thing. It's they raise the bar on themselves all the time, and so they will not stop plussing it, which is Kevin's word, until they have to. Yeah, he's growing up. I mean, the great thing about him, one thing is his character is in motion. He's growing. He was a young, impetuous prince in the first one, and he's darkened somewhat because he's taking on more of the weight of the world. His character will continue to mature and deal with hard choices. He's got a wonderful, complex relationship with one of the baddest guys in the universe, who happens to be his brother, and we take that to a place it's never been before. I think people will be surprised by what Loki's capable of, and how that plays out. And he also has to, get back to his girlfriend that he has some explaining to do.
Continue our journey through Marvel's Phase 2. The next film up is in April of 2014. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier himself, Sebastian Stan. Anthony Mackie. How are you, sir? How are you, sir? And Chris Evans.
I'm going to tell you a really funny story. This is actually absolutely true. I just got back to town. I was doing press overseas, and I got back, and my buddies were like, hey, because I always bring them with me when I go to Disneyland. And someone hit me up and was like, oh, we should do Disneyland. And I was like, great, you know what? We should do it this Saturday. And I called my whole team, and I said, can we do a Disneyland trip? And they said, well, before or after D23? And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, I got D23. That's right. Maybe after. Maybe we'll go after. Is anyone going to Disneyland after?
No.
Let's go!
It's exciting. I mean, to be honest, it feels very similar to Comic-Con. You're just on a stage, a lot of people screaming, and you can't really see the audience that well because there's a lot of lights and it's just this dark ocean of people. But it's exciting, It's people really wanting to see what we've worked on, and that's rewarding. We get to kind of expand a little more on Cap's ability. You got to assume he's been in training, so now it's not just his brute force in action. Now it's his brute force along with a little bit of finesse. Well, it's an honor. I mean, there are so many franchised films out there in different studios that you could be employed by. But I really got lucky working for Marvel. They really know what they're doing, and they make great products.
Great reception. I mean, Comic-Con was very intense for sure, but in a really great way. So I was personally, I was a little bit more prepared this time around for people to react the way they did to the footage. People seem to love it. Marvel's doing such an incredible job with these movies, and I feel like their movies are going to be remembered. You know how you look back at the 80s and the 90s and so on? I feel like you're going to look at this decade, you're going to remember Marvel for a lot of the, for what they've done. So for me to be a part of that is great. I mean, I feel blessed. You see both of the characters do a lot more action. You know, the both Bucky and Steve were highly trained, and though I feel like the first movie really did a good job of setting that up, you didn't really get to see how their skill is put to use, and in this movie you definitely will.
The reception was amazing, actually. D23 has kind of turned into this thing I had never been to before, but now it's just a lot of fun. Everybody seemed to really enjoy the clip we showed. We showed a little snippet of me and Captain America kicking some butt and shooting some planes down, and then they, they released this new clip of Captain America taking everybody down and doing what he does best, slinging his shield and knocking people out. When I first got in this business, it was like my dream to be a superhero and be in a Western. So I haven't done a Western yet, but the Marvel franchise is kind of like, it's great to be a part of, because what's so fun is they're known for doing quality work. So you know if you do the best work you can, it's going to come off really well, because all their projects kind of like have this Midas touch about it.
Oh, it was very exciting. It's like anytime we get to show something from the movie, it makes us really happy and excited, just because we've been working so hard on it. It was a great presentation today, because we had 3 actors with us: Sebastian Stan, Chris Evans, and Anthony Mackie, and they're part of the fun of this movie is we get to introduce 2 new superheroes in the Winter Soldier and Falcon, and in a way we get to reintroduce Captain America, because he's sort of like, this is the first time he's sort of really embracing the modern world. In his own story, and so to have those 3 guys here today, I think was very appropriate and really fun for us.
It's a blast. I mean, we keep saying it's the best job we've ever had. We grew up comic book fans, been collecting since we were very young. Captain America Falcon was one of the first books I ever bought as a kid, so it was a dream come true for me. And be able to work with Marvel, it's an amazing company, extremely collaborative, very, very bright. Obviously they really know what they're doing. So it's been a great experience for us, top to bottom.
Journeying further into 2014, 4 months after The Winter Soldier, we're debuting something new, something totally new, something brand new, called Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is an excellent comic book with excellent characters, but it is not particularly well known, and that excites us to debut something brand new. The director and co-writer of that film is James Gunn, who is doing an amazing job with his cast of Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Lee Pace, Michael Rooker, Karen Gillan, Jaimin Hansu, and John C. Reilly, Benicio del Toro, and Glenn Close. It's an incredible ensemble. Well, it's great. They show a sizzle reel to kick off the panel of all the great Disney product, of which now Marvel is a big part. And I love that when Thor pops up, when Cap pops up, the crowd, that the roar gets even louder, and that feels nice. That feels like we're part of the club now. And 2 years ago, bringing out the first clip of the Avengers. Today, debuting a clip from Thor, a clip that was just cut together yesterday by the Russo brothers directing Captain America. It's fun, it's fun, and you feel comfortable because you can feel the fandom, you can feel the love, you can feel the appreciation to say, hey, let's show something, it's rough, it's not finished, but we think you guys will like it, and they went crazy, so it was great. In addition to the next Thor film, the next Captain America film, we debuted a clip that I love of Guardians of the Galaxy. We had only been shooting for 2 weeks. We cut something together. We showed it once at Comic-Con. We, of course, brought it here today. And people go crazy for it. It's people don't know this comic, people don't know these characters, but when they see this raccoon and they see this tree and they see Chris Pratt, who's going to be a giant movie star, it feels like, oh, they get what we're doing, and now we just have to go finish it and keep doing it now. But the cast feels that energy as well, and even across the ocean, I've already texted them and let them know what an amazing response it got today. Well, I mean, look, it's all about the characters, right? That's what Walt always says. It all started with a mouse. It goes back to those characters, whether you're reading the comics in the 50s and the 60s or going to the theme parks in the 50s. I went to theme parks in the 80s and the 90s, and tonight. And it's that nostalgia, and it's that, it interweaves with our lives when you have something that's been around that way. So you have a responsibility, and that's what Disney's amazing at. I hope to go see some of these exhibits with, models of theme park rides that they had never built, but these models are made of paper, and they're 35 years old, and they look pristine, they look amazing, because the company cares about the history, which is awesome. We have paper history in the comics, and I keep saying you got to take care of the props. Put a thing over Thor's hammer. I want this to last, because of the example that Disney has set.